Chapter 2 Eveline Question Answers from Class 12 Subject English Book Kaleidoscope Page 15 Stop and Think Question 1 Why did Eveline review all the familiar objects at home? Answer Eveline reviewed all the familiar objects at home because she felt nostalgic. She wanted to escape from her annoying family and wanted to lead a happy and peaceful life with her beloved one, Frank. All the wonderful and happy memories from her childhood days with her siblings flashed in front of her eyes like a movie. This further dissuaded her from going away from her family. Question 2 Where was Eveline planning to go? Answer Eveline was planning to run away from her house, from her troublesome family. She wished to be with her beloved Frank and start a happy and peaceful life in a new city, Buenos Aires, far from her father and her old monotonous lifestyle. Stop and think. Page 17. Question 1. Who was Frank? Why did Eveline's father quarrel with him? Answer. Frank was an Irish sailor and a man whom Eveline loved and admired. She loved him so much that she wanted to elope with him and lead a respectful life. He was a very kind and open-hearted man who wished to marry Eveline. But Eveline's father had found out about the affair and was against her wish. He had forbidden her from saying anything to him. Hence, Eveline's father did not like him and quarrelled with him about their affair. Question 2. What significance does Eveline find in the organ player's appearance on the day she had decided to leave? Answer. When the organ player appeared, she remembered the street organ that was played the night before her mother's death. When Eveline decided to leave the house, the good old memories with her siblings, the promises she had given to her mother that she would take care of her family and would never get separated, all flashed in front of her eyes like a movie. These instances held her back and forced her to fulfill her duties and stopped her from going away with her beloved Frank. Understanding the text, question 1. Name the two characters in this story whom Eveline liked and loved, and two she did not. What were the reasons for her feelings towards them? Answer. The two characters Eveline liked and loved were her mother and Frank. Eveline's mother bore the torture inflicted upon her by her husband and took care of the entire family by providing all comforts to her children. Frank was her very kind, manly, open-hearted lover, and he admired her very much. He was the only hope for her future, who would get her out of the problems she faced. She hated her father and Miss Gavin as they both used to criticize her, and they had always been harsh towards her. Her father used to drink and humiliate her, whereas Miss Gavin always passed comments on her. Question 2. Describe the conflict of emotions felt by Eveline on the day she had decided to elope with Frank. Answer. Eveline loved Frank a lot, and when she decided to elope with Frank and marry him, it was not easy for her, as all her memories of childhood, happy days, mother and siblings flashed in front of her eyes like a movie. She felt sentimental about the memories of her brothers, Harry and Ernest, who had left her house. The music played by the organ player reminded her of the day her mother died. On the other hand, she wanted to run away from her father's cruelty and start a new respectful life with Frank in Buenos Aires. However, the promises she had given to her mother were that she would keep the house together as long as she could. The flash of memories kept haunting her, which did not let her go away with Frank. Question 3. Why did you think Eveline let go of the opportunity to escape? Answer. Eveline let go of the opportunity to escape with Frank because she was struck with the responsibility towards her family. The promises she had given to her mother were to keep her family together and never get separated. Even though she hated her father, she was worried about him. Her duty towards the family was much more important than escaping from home, which prevented Eveline from leaving home. Question 4. What are the signs of Eveline's indecision that we see as the hour of her departure with Frank neared? Answer. As the hour of her departure with Frank neared, Eveline suddenly got restless and turned pale out of fear whether she was doing right or wrong. She also felt depressed and cried out of anguish. She also prayed to God to direct her to the right path and perform her duties in the right way. In the end, her conscience did not let her give up on her duties, and she skipped the idea of eloping with Frank. Next, talking about the text, question 1. Deciding between filial duty and the right to personal happiness is problematic. Discuss. Answer. Eveline in the story was in a confused state of mind to choose between responsibility and happiness. To keep the promise she had given to her mother, she had to look after the family, stay together, and not let family relationships break. For this, she had to sacrifice her precious life. Even though she had an opportunity to start a happy and peaceful life with her beloved Frank, all the promises, memories, and relationships flashed in front of her eyes, making her give up her dreams and embrace the well being of her family. Often, there is a conflict in one's life when a person has to choose from among their personal life, family, happiness, and future. Eveline also went through the same situation, making it difficult to choose between her abused life with her family and escaping with her beloved one. Thus, in society, choosing happiness becomes problematic and selfish, pulling back a person to fulfill their filial duty and sacrificing their personal life. Question 2. Share with your partner any instance of your personal experience where you or somebody you know had to make a difficult choice. Answer. There are many occasions when a person faces the dilemma of making the right decision. I am sharing an incident in my best friend's life. As Suman's father was not alive and her brother was an alcoholic, she was the sole bread earner of her family. She was working in a firm, her life was restricted between the office and home, dull without any dreams. She always tried to work hard for her family. Her boss fell in love with her and proposed to her. She refused his proposal as she said she had responsibilities of her mother, younger sister, and elder brother. Then her boss took out a solution to this. He offered a job to her brother. He made him aware of his responsibilities to his family. Something happened that made Suman's brother realize his duties. He accepted a job and his life started to get on track. Now Suman was so happy and she decided to move on with her life and get married. Destiny plays its role. Unfortunately, on the day of the wedding, Suman's brother died in an accident. All of a sudden, everything changed. Suman's boss tried to persuade her that he would shoulder all of her family's responsibilities, but again, Suman was back in her life. She refused to marry and decided to go with duties towards her family at the cost of the happiness of her life. Next, appreciation. Question 1. The description in this story has symbolic touches. What do you think the window, the gathering dusk, the dusty cretonne, and its order symbolize? Answer. In the story, Eveline, the writer symbolizes the words window, the gathering dusk, and dusty cretonne and its order as follows. The world outside the window represents perception. From the narration, we can say that the outside world is new and unfamiliar to Eveline. She feels happier being with her loved one than being with her cruel family. She has seen and faced so many difficulties in her life that she doesn't consider herself to be a part of the outside world. She believes the world won't accept her. Similarly, gathering dust and dusty cretonne and order symbolizes boredom and lifelessness. Eveline has worked for her salary day and night for her family, all her life keeping the promise given to her mother. It portrays her hopeless life. Hence, the writer has compared Eveline's life to the room's darkness, showing the burden of memories and boredom in her life. Thus, the author has drawn a variation between opportunity and painful memories. Question 2. Note how the narrative proceeds through the consciousness of Eveline. Answer. It is true to say that the story's narration mainly revolves around the actions that happen virtually and are not valid in the real world. Most of the actions usually don't take place in real life. The writer in the story is trying to showcase the thoughts through the events in Eveline's mind since her childhood. The writer depicts the scenes through Eveline's thoughts and emotions in a precise way. Thus, We can say the narrative proceeds through Eveline's consciousness. Question 3. In the last section of the story, notice these expressions. First, a bell clanged upon her heart. Second, all the seas of the world tumbled upon her heart. Third, her hands clutched the iron in a frenzy. Fourth, she set her white face to him, passive like a helpless animal. What are the emotions that these images evoke? Answer. All the above depicted expressions evoked the emotions of fear and weakness. Eveline was confused about whether to go ahead with her happiness or the promise given to her mother to stay back and fulfill her duties towards her family. She was in great pain, and her heart was very heavily loaded with emotions, making it impossible for her to go away with Frank. All these instances depict her loneliness and the burden of leaving her family for personal benefit. Question 4. Do you think the author indicates his judgment of Eveline in the story? Answer. The author focuses more on Eveline's struggles, helplessness, and conflict between family, personal life, past, and future. The writer uses Eveline's character to depict the story. The author does not make any judgment on Eveline. Next, language work. A. Grammar, parallelism. Notice the following sentence. One was to Harry, the other was to her father. When you coordinate two or more elements in a sentence, they are in the same grammatical form. That is, they are parallel. This ensures balance in the sentence. In the sentence above, there is a reference to what was said in the previous sentence, two letters. The predicative pattern is the same and the two parts are separated by a semicolon. Parallelism is a basic rhetorical principle. Equal form reinforces equal meaning. By placing equally important ideas successively, you emphasize their relationship to one another. It can show either similarity or contrast, as in, then a man from Belfast bought the field and built houses in it, not like their little brown houses, but bright brick houses with shining roofs. Sometimes the choice of words establishes the parallel and reinforces equal meaning, as in, Ernest had been her favorite, but she liked Harry too. Next, task. Underline the parts that are parallel in the following sentences. First, she had consented to go away to leave her home. Answer. To go away to leave her home. Second, strange that it should come that very night to remind her of the promise to her mother. Her promise to keep the home together as long as she could. So, answer is promise to her mother, her promise to keep the home together as long as she could. Next, she prayed to God to direct her to show her what was her duty. Answer. To direct her to show her what was her duty. Next, Frank would take her in his arms, hold her in his arms. Answer is take her in his arms, hold her in his arms. Next, her time was running out, but she continued to sit by the window, leaning her head against the window curtain, inhaling the odor of dusty cretonne. So, answer is leaning her head against the window curtain, inhaling the odor of dusty cretonne. Next, not long before, when she had been laid up for a day, he had read her out a ghost story and made toast for her at the fire. So, answer is he had read her out a ghost story and made toast for her at the fire. So, friends, you can underline the parts which I have highlighted. B. Pronunciation. A word has many syllables as it has vowels. Man, M-A-N, one syllable, A. Manner, A-E, two syllables. The mark bracket open and close indicates that the first syllable in manner is more prominent than the other. In a word having more than one syllable, the one that is more prominent than the other syllables is called the stressed syllable. Next, task. Mark the stressed syllables in the following words chosen from the lesson. Consult the dictionary or ask the teacher if necessary. Answer. Word photograph, number of syllables 3, syllables photograph, stressed syllable 4. Next word threaten, number of syllables 2, threat n, stressed syllable threat. Next word illumined, number of syllables 3, Illumined. Stretch the syllable lu. Next word invariable. Number of syllables 5. Invariable. Stretch the syllable where. Next word escape. Number of syllables 2. Syllables escape. Stretch the syllable cape. Next word excitement. Number of syllables 3. Syllables excitement. Stretch the syllable sight. Next word sailor. Number of syllables 2. Syllables sailor. Stretch the syllable sail. Next word changes. Number of syllables 2. Syllables changes. Stretch the syllable chain. Next word farewell. Number of syllables 2. Syllables farewell. Stretch the syllable fair. Next word sacrifice. Number of syllables 3. Syllables sacrifice. Stretch the syllable sac. Friends, we have completed all the question answers from the chapter. If you like the video, kindly like it and share it with your friends. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you for watching.